Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to another Gap Mastermind. Growth, action, and production is what we're talking about today. And we're super excited to see some of the faces like Yisbel and Ike and Evelyn are on my screen. Carlos Flores is lighting up his camera up right now. And you guys are here because you know this is the place where winners come to grow. This is the place where we just don't talk the talk. We don't just talk about flowery, hey, let's build a garden, everybody hold hands. No, let's do some production. Let's take some action. Let's put our business into overdrive. And there's something I got to tell you that is kind of something that's a little dirty secret about real estate, right? So we talk about like being motivated and getting all this stuff done and action, action, action. But sometimes we don't truly understand what makes the motor work, right? So imagine you pulled up and there's a beautiful Lamborghini, and we open and we're looking and we're marveling this Lamborghini. Maybe that's the team leader or the broker or the super agent that you admire that in your market. But now you get to walk up to that Lamborghini and open up the hood, and you get to look in the inside, and you get to look at that engine, and you get to understand the systems and the operations, what makes that thing go vroom. Today we've got Lauren Duke, who's going to kind of walk us through what is the system and operation to make your business move from just a moving car to a Lamborghini that vrooms a 6, 7, or 8-figure producing machine. So we're going to start right off, and I'm going to come in some questions. Light up the chat box if you got some questions, or if something comes up and she says something and you want to aha it or fire it up. I'm going to let Lauren come in. She's super excited to talk to us here at the Gap Mastermind and fill our business with the systems and operations that we all need. And sometimes we just look at somebody and like they got it all figured out, right? And it's because they've got a proven, repeatable system. So, Lauren, I'd like to introduce you to the Growth, Action, and Production Group of the Global Mastermind. Here, we meet every single Monday. We're excited to have you, and we're going to let you take the stage.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, welcome, Lauren. Before that, we would like to introduce our speaker today, Lauren Duke. She's a former CEO of the top 10 real estate team. She also specialized through her company to personalize coaching and strategy to help you succeed on your business. And there's so many things that we can say about the speaker today. Her deep understanding of the real estate industry and hands-on experience in managing large-scale operation make her a valuable partner for business looking to scale. So we are so excited. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and we welcome our speaker today.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to be here today. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. Like the introduction said, my name is Lauren Duke, and I am the owner of CoreOps Collective. I previously was the COO of a top 10 real estate team. And in my time there, we oversaw, I think, over 3,000 transactions. I recruited, onboarded, and trained over 150 agents. And we opened up 21 locations. So we were very, very, very busy. Yes. And where my expertise comes in now is that to real estate agents, I am the girl that, helps set up the behind the scenes operations, but to the admin and operations professionals in this real estate world, I aim to be your coach, mentor, teacher, problem solver, advocate, friend, all of that. Am I able to share my screen? Is that okay? Okay.
Yes, you may. You may.
Okay. Perfect. So let me go ahead and start that then. Okay. You guys can see we're good? Okay.
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like I said, 3,000 transactions, we were super, super busy, and none of that experience came overnight. And I learned so incredibly much about how a real estate business should operate in order to be successful. And now working with agents and teams to scale their businesses, the one common theme that a lot of them have is that they have a really good idea of what they want to do, but they are a little bit fuzzy on why they want to do it. And when you don't really know what your business stands for, it makes it very difficult to scale. So we're definitely going to get to some operation stuff like tracking methods and making sure you're scaling in a way that you won't burn out. But we're going to start with building the initial foundation. But I do also have a workbook that goes along with all of this. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat for you guys to grab. So it is right there if you want it. So everybody gets super excited about, what their brand colors are going to be, the fonts that they're going to use, their logo, which one of their best headshots they'll put up on their website. And of course, that is absolutely the fun part, making things pretty and, getting your tagline, making sure everything looks just right. But I want to ask you, have you taken the time to make sure that the foundation of your business has actually been properly built? And what I mean by that is, do you know your values or what makes you stand out from the rest of the agents in your market? I mean, there's 1.4 million realtors out there, and please do not automatically hate me when I say that everyone does the same thing. So you need to know what makes you stand out from everyone else. Do you have a mission statement? Do you have a vision statement? Basically, what I'm asking is, do you know where your business is headed? And do you know why it's heading in that direction? So first things first, why are you doing this? And I don't mean your big why, because for most of us, that's going to be our families and their futures. But why real estate? What's the point of the long nights, those early mornings, the 2 a.m. wake ups, wondering if you checked the wrong box on the contract or if you actually did send that email? So let's figure that out. Writing your mission statement helps you and also your team, if you have a team, stay focused on what truly matters. So start by asking some fundamental questions like, why did you start your real estate business? And what impact do you want to make in your community or in the lives of your clients? So your mission statement, it really should reflect the core of your business beyond just making money. It's about the value that you bring to your clients and the difference that you want to make in the real estate world. And here we're going to get specific. We're not going to be vague booking. We really want everyone to know exactly what it is that you bring to the table. So we're not going to be going for something like, we aim to be the best real estate company in the area. No. What exactly do you do? Are you dedicated to helping first-time home buyers navigate the complex buying process? Or maybe you specialize in sustainable homes, something like that. The more specific you are, the more your mission statement will resonate with your team and your target clients. So here you're going to want it to be clear. You're going to want it to be concise and memorable. Really just aim for a few sentences. It should be easy for you, your team, and also your clients to remember, because you want it to be inspiring and motivating as well. It's kind of like the rally cry that gets everyone excited about the work that you're all doing together. So really pull on the emotional strings and paint a vivid picture of the impact that your business has. And remember that you're absolutely allowed to evolve your mission statement as your business grows and expands. But the key to all of that is to just ensure that it's always accurately reflecting the core of your business. So here's an example of a mission statement. Let's say your real estate business focuses on helping young families find their first home in a specific metro area. You could say, to empower young families in my city to put down roots and build their futures by providing personalized, compassionate, and comprehensive real estate services that transform the process of buying their first home into a joyful and memorable journey. So once you've gotten it written up, now put your pretty fonts and colors on it, get it on your website, because you want to make sure you want to make sure everyone knows why your business matters. And now, what keeps you going on those particularly rough days? what is the vision? The vision portion of the foundation is that ambitious, forward-looking goal that motivates and inspires you and your team. It aligns everything with your long-term objectives. And so while your mission statement focuses on the present and describes the purpose of your business, the vision statement is actually your business's future. It represents where you want to be in the long run and serves as a constant reminder of what you're putting the long hours in for. So your vision statement, first of all, we're going to be realistic. And by no means am I saying, shrink your dreams or anything like that. I will be the absolute last person to say that to you. It does need to be bold and aspirational and really reflect the ultimate impact you want your business to have on the real estate world, or on the world, the real estate market, your community, all of that. You're going to make this vision statement the best version of your future business that you could possibly achieve. But you do have to be realistic about that too. You need to find the balance between ambition and realism. So your vision should be challenging, but actually something achievable, something that pushes the boundaries while still remaining within the realm of possibility. And next, we're going to focus on the broader impact that your business will have. And so how will the world, or at least your corner of it, be different because your real estate business exists? Your vision might include changing the way people think about home ownership, innovating the real estate buying and selling process. Maybe it's providing career opportunities to agents by starting your own team or brokerage or, whatever it may be. The possibilities are endless, and the key is to think beyond profits and growth to the actual difference that you want to make. And it should, of course, inspire those within your business and also excite them about the role that they'll play in reaching that future. And just like your mission statement, it needs to be concise and clear as well. Your vision can and also should be big, but don't articulate it to be too long or too complicated because it'll start to lose its impact. Just 1 or 2 sentences at most. So an example of this, if your real estate business focuses maybe on sustainability and innovation, you might write something like, to revolutionize the future of the real estate industry by making sustainable living accessible to all, ultimately creating communities that thrive harmoniously with the environment. And now you don't necessarily need to have your vision be available to everybody, so you don't have to worry about putting it on your website or anything like that, but it should be integrated into every aspect of your business, especially things like when you go to strategically plan big decisions and even team motivation. It needs to be the basis of your company's culture. So the vision becomes really, it's not just a statement, but it's really about your business's DNA, what is driving you and your team towards that aspirational future that you've envisioned. So before we move on, I want to stop for a second and give you my personal experience on why having a mission and vision statement is so important. When I first started on the real estate team that I was on, there really was no foundation at all. And that made doing almost every aspect of my job really difficult, because as I'm recruiting, I didn't know who my target recruit was. I didn't know what the future was going to look like. There really was no game plan to get there. And that made making decisions hard, almost scary sometimes, because I didn't know whether or not it would get us closer to whatever it was that we were striving for. It also made it almost impossible to say no. So whenever a new idea or project, location, whatever it may be, came up in conversation, not knowing where the company was headed made it hard for me to say whether or not those objectives were going to get us closer to or, further away from our end goal. So it really doesn't matter if you're a solo agent or a team. Building this foundation is crucial to know where you're headed. You'll be thankful that you did. And if you have operations people or will have them in the future, they will be very thankful as well. So now you know why you're doing the things you're doing and where you want to go with it, but what is setting you apart from the other agents, teams, or brokerages? And that is where your value proposition comes in. So what do you need to know to do this? First, we're going to identify who your ideal clients are and the challenges that they face in the real estate market. Are they first-time home buyers overwhelmed with the buying process? Are they looking for eco-friendly homes? Maybe they're sellers who want to maximize their property's value with minimal hassle. Recognizing these needs allows you to tailor your value proposition directly to your client's most pressing concerns. So now we're going to highlight what makes you unique. You want to take a look at what aspects of your service, your expertise, or your approach sets you apart from your competition. Maybe you have unmatched local market knowledge. Maybe you offer personalized one-on-one guidance. Maybe you are using an innovative new technology that streamlines transactions. What makes your business stand out from the crowd? And of course, I'm going to tell you again to be clear and concise, avoid the vague. You really want to be specific on how you solve your clients' problems because you're going to want to grab their attention and be memorable. You're not just listing your services here. You're really creating a connection with potential clients by showcasing your understanding of what their needs are and your ability to meet them. And so now you're going to support your value proposition by proving it. And that can be with testimonials, success stories, evidence of your achievements, because this not only adds credibility, but also paints the picture of what you bring to the table. And if you're new to the industry, you can still paint this picture by, using your own case studies. If you've purchased your own home, maybe helped a family member or friend, something like that. So just like your mission statement, you're going to put your value proposition everywhere that you can, because it really is a reflection of your business's core promise to your clients. Constantly communicating it, it's going to help build your brand identity and ensure that when potential clients think of real estate, they think of you first. So now that we know the why, what, and who, let's focus more on the how. So we are going to dive into the systems and operations side of things now. So as your business grows and evolves, your systems and operations, they need to be there to not only witness it, but have a full understanding to effectively steer it as well. I have seen many agents and teams who really have no idea how their business is doing, and it makes things so much harder to navigate because you don't have any idea if the decisions you're making are the right ones. You don't know if the marketing objectives that you're spending so much money on are paying off. You have no clue if you're up or down or stagnant or anything like that. So let's talk about how you can change that. I'm going to walk you through the same process that I use in my Strategy to Scale program. It typically takes 12 weeks, but we're going to go through a bootcamp version here to get you started. So first things first, let's figure out how you want things done. And this comes with systemizing your processes. So we're going to start by documenting all of your processes from, the initial client contact to closing a deal. This ends up becoming essentially your operations manual, a go-to resource for you, your team, whoever, to really understand how things are done. This is going to help ensure consistency and also quality in your services. So in that resource guide that I put the link in the chat, there is a basic list of processes that are pretty standard for both solo agents and teams with, you can pretty much fill in the blank areas to customize them to your business. And in case you guys didn't notice, in the mission, vision, and values section, we love clarity around here because clear is kind, of course. So what we're going to do next is define clear roles and responsibilities for each team member. This clarity, it helps prevent overlap and really ensures that everyone knows what is expected for them. I like to use something called a RACI chart. R is for responsible, A is for accountable, C is for consulted, and I is for informed. I have a slide on what it looks like next, so I will get there, I promise. But we're going to use this to essentially take all of those standard operating procedures that you now know how to create and assign team members and anyone who has a role within your business at all, even if you're a solo agent and maybe you outsource to a TC, or the lender is part of the process, the title company, attorney, whatever it is. You can assign the team members and anyone who has a role within your business any relevant responsibilities, just so you know what to expect from whoever is on your team as well. So let's see here. Let me move forward. So going through this RACI chart here, you're going to essentially put in the task or activity, on this task list. And then this is just a screenshot, so I can't use the drop-down things right here. But let's say person 1 is you and person 2 is your operations person. You would just go through and click RACI for whoever it is. But I'm going to stop again really quick because I want to drive home the importance of having team members have clarity in their roles, because how will they know when they're winning if they don't know what they're supposed to do? So like I mentioned before, there really were no systems or real foundation when I started on my previous team. And it was honestly so confusing because things were expected of me that I had no idea of. So when the ball was ultimately dropped in that area, it landed on me, or it was my fault or whatever, which in turn caused a bit of frustration because I didn't know. I had no idea. And so when going through the RACI chart with my clients now, it really helps drive home what each person on the team or within the business is supposed to be doing, which leaves little room for unexpected requirements being thrown at someone. Trust me, your team members and anyone else in your business cannot read your mind. So even if you think that it's an obvious task that should, maybe someone should have already been aware of, you still need to make sure that they've been told in one way or another. So putting it on their job description, showing them, a chart like this is the perfect way to do that. So continued training. Whenever you have employees or team members, investing in their training and development is also incredibly important. You cannot expect them to know everything when they first start, and you also don't know it all either. So having an outside source provide necessary information is crucial to not only the business's success, but their career as well. And I'm not just talking about like the technical aspects of the job either. So, if you have a goal of opening a team or expanding into new locations, something like that, anything that's going to involve having someone with leadership skills on your team, it is really important to consider getting them into some training to help improve those soft skills, communication, management capabilities, emotional intelligence, all of that. Now, moving into more of the data tracking things, in those resources that I provided you, you'll find a basic start to a business hub. And I customize these for each of my clients, but since we're not having a one-on-one conversation now, I am going to be giving you a basic overview on how to get this set up for yourself. So this is I call this the CRM data tab, but essentially it is a place to put all of your leads, and you can categorize them a few different ways for contact status, intent, what their timeline is, things like that. I don't use this as a CRM. I use it as a backup of a CRM. So if you use KV Core, Lofty, whatever it is, you can sync it with a third-party integration system called Zapier, which essentially when someone signs up on your website, it will go to this Google Sheet as well as your normal CRM. You don't really have to do anything here. It just holds that data for you. Just in case your CRM is glitching that day, you can still pop in here and find any of that information. And then the next tab is the transactions tab. This contains just about everything that you need to know for the under contract portion of the transaction, as far as what's needed to be tracked. So see, there's lots of different places for all kinds of data to be tracked. And if you don't want some of it, go ahead and delete it or hide it. But this helps keep everything organized and in one place. And a pro tip that I love is that you can have a Google form linked to this sheet with all of this information as well. So if you have agents that need to report their transaction information, or maybe you have a TC that you're like, texting all this information back and forth, emailing all this information back and forth, you can put it into a form and have them get that information emailed to them automatically. And now moving on to the income tab, where you'll see all of the columns that bring some of that transaction information over. So here it's going to automatically calculate the GCI for you as well. But you go through and add in whatever bonuses, if you have a cap or split amount, office or admin fees, things like that. But after you add in any deductions or concessions, we'll give you a formula and this net profit column at the end that should give you what your commission check should be. And then hopping over to the expense tab, again, this is going to be input by you, where you are putting in the date of the purchase that you made, whatever account it came from. I have these categories here set up based off Millionaire Real Estate Agent, because that's typically what is the most popular, and then the amount, and you can upload the receipt, any notes if needed, doing all of this with your income, that last tab, and then the expenses provides you with a profit and loss statement. You don't have to do anything to this page at all. It all comes over automatically. You can toggle, if this wasn't a screenshot, I would show you, but if you can toggle between the years up where it says 2023 up there, so you can easily see your P&L year over year. And then finally, your referral network. I talk with so many agents all the time that are sending out referrals, but not keeping track of where they went, if they closed, all of that. Or worse, they tell me that they got an inbound referral and they have no idea who sent it. So here is a sheet to start a list of all your referral partners, where they're located, how to contact them, all of that. So that all gives you a pretty good grasp on what the basics of what's needed to be tracked are. So you can finally say that you're running it like an actual business. All those trackers are pretty straightforward, easy to use. Other than the P&L tab, you don't really have any formulas that you have to worry about. But with your SOPs and the RACI chart and your tracking systems, you should have a very good grasp on your business's health at all times. But let's not stop there. How are you going to make sure your business is actually growing properly without losing sight of the foundations that you've put in place? Keeping your core principles, values, and your operational integrity that's contributed to all of the success that you've had in mind. Let's go through how we can expand your business without compromising the qualities that set you apart. So, as you plan for expansion, and whether that's by opening up new locations or adding team members, consider how new initiatives will support your core values. And what I mean by that is say no. When you're new in the business, or even when you're experienced but aren't really sure of your values or really why you're doing this, you tend to say yes to everything. After I left my real estate team, I swore to myself that I wouldn't become a virtual assistant again. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I know myself. I know I'm a much better visionary than executor, and I didn't want to go down the path of doing anything for a buck again. So incorporating these values means fostering a strong company culture as well. And company culture may feel like a buzzword these days, maybe it is, but it's also incredibly important. It is what is attracting talent, building loyalty, and what truly sets you apart from your competitors. So as you grow, you want to actively work to maintain and evolve your culture in a way that supports your team and values. So you can do this by implementing programs, traditions, practices, things like that that really reinforce your culture. An example, if you are a team within a brokerage, consider having your own award ceremony outside of maybe what your brokerage does. It's a great way to be recognized amongst your competitors, and a little internal acknowledgement is always great too. So hang on, how are you going to get those team members? I hate when this happens. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me go forward. I don't know why this is happening. Sorry.
We can open for any question while you're trying to locate that.
I think I got it. You guys don't hear it anymore, right? Okay. So
Yes.
sorry. Okay,
We actually never heard it.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, perfect. Good, because it was very loud in my ears, and it was the background noise that I accidentally put on there a long time ago and forgot to take it off. So, we are going to use the FIND method for recruiting. So, by meticulously formulating your target recruit, you are essentially creating a blueprint for your recruitment efforts. It's going to help you focus your search, tailor your job postings, ensure that you are attracting candidates who align with your agency's goals and culture. So before you dive into the recruitment process, take the time to define your ideal real estate agent, because you will be much better equipped to find the perfect fit for your team. I is identify ways to reach them. Consider the preferences and the habits of your ideal candidates. So you're going to tailor your approach to align with their interests so that you're casting a wide but also focused net to find the right talent for your team. And nurturing connections takes time and effort, but it also can result in a pool of engaged and enthusiastic candidates who are more likely to consider your agency when the right opportunity arises. So building relationships based on trust and mutual respect can be a valuable asset in the competitive world of real estate recruitment. And a hot tip, as your team grows, don't forget to nurture the agents that are already on your team. We as agents put so much emphasis on nurturing past clients for referrals, but a lot of times we neglect the current agents on our team for retention and also to see who they can bring in. And then demonstrating value is vital in recruiting agents, as it sets your team apart in a competitive field. So it's going to showcase the benefits, the support, and the growth opportunities you offer. and why your team is a top choice. And it's a really good thing that you just learned how to figure out your value proposition, right? So I want to jump back to culture for a second because this story goes hand in hand with what we're talking about right now. When I was recruiting, I would get on the phone or meet up with a potential team member. And I used to always say that our culture was that we were one big happy family. And I want to make something really clear. Your culture needs to be more than family. You really need to figure out what you stand for, what your values are, what values you are looking for in other people, and you need to hold strong to those. If you're interested in starting a team, make sure that you know what sets you apart from the thousands of other teams that someone could join. And if you're an agent and you're looking to join a team, make sure you know what your values are and that yours align with the teams that you're joining. Speaking to everyone now, it's okay if you have to go through quite a few interviews to find the right fit. There were a few times that I took shortcuts hiring anyone that showed interest in joining the team versus going through a lengthy interview process. And I really urge you to do the legwork prior to committing to bringing someone on or joining. And let's keep in mind that growth should never come at the cost of service quality. Before you bring new agents or team members, into your company, make sure you have a well thought out training plan ahead of time. So they're being held to the same standards that you have for yourself for the exceptional service that each client of yours receives. You don't want to bring someone into your business until you are ready to pour into them in order for them to meet that standard. And this means having accountability for them. So when they come into your organization, is there a training program that they're being held to complete? Are there expectations that they need to meet? And what happens if they don't? So my advice is to have this written somewhere that's easily accessible for everyone to reference. My favorite way is a Google site, and it's a free website that can be edited on the back end of your Google Workspace. I make one of these for each client during their strategy to scale program, and we input each piece of training, education, script, whatever it may be that an agent or team member needs to have in order to be successful. So yeah, let's get this wrapped up. We just covered a ton of ground, and we went through all of the ins and outs of making your real estate business run like a business. So you guys have your worksheet with your trackers and guides and all of that. But yeah, I'm all wrapped up.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Great
Yes.
stuff. So that's
De
amazing.
allá el martes hay evento el 13. Que viene San John, allá.
It looks like someone needs to be muted. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, thank you again, Lauren. Great information. Now we're open to any question that anyone may have in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. But we learned so many things and great nuggets for our business, the importance to having the mission statement, vision statement to stand out from the rest. And you need to track your progress. And now open for any question. Does anyone has any question?
I got a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
All right,
please.
so I just wanted to so Lauren is available for like one-on-one consulting to help us tighten up our systems and our processes and everything like that, right?
Yes.
I just wanted to, okay.
Yes.
I don't need this helpful. Okay, thank you. That was my question. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yep. No problem.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else has any questions? Everyone is sharing some love in the chat. They're thanking you, Lauren. Why if you guys have any, yes, go ahead.
I've got a question. So one thing that you said that seems like it's just so simple. And it's, first off, I don't think a lot of teams actually have core values, right? So it's just sitting down and and writing down, what do we stand for? Like, what is the feeling that we want the team to feel, that we want our consumer to feel? And just like, let's put that. So I do have a core value. I've got my top 8 core values. I really feel great about my core values. My question is like level 2 of that. How do you, with some real life examples, kind of continue to put everybody back on core values, kind of massage core values, to kind of reintroduce it all the time? Because too often you spend so much time and you put it up on the wall and you're super proud of it, but then that's as far as it goes. How do you continue to use core values in your team to make sure that you're fulfilling on the vision?
So actually, I was just writing out talking points for a webinar about running effective meetings. And it was the perfect place for me to be like, oh, let's add in our core values. And so when people are bringing new initiatives, or like, hey, maybe we should do XYZ, just remembering to stop for a second, reflect, go back and be like, okay, but wait. For example, my core values, you said you have 8, that's great. I only have 3. So kudos to you. But mine are stability, contribution, and creativity. And so even in my personal life, it's like, okay, my kids want to do, whatever sport, whatever activity it is. I'm like, okay, so that's going to be on their creativity side. Or baseball, like that's going to, help them be a teammate to contribute. And so I know that I'm projecting that onto my children, but what I'm getting at is even through meetings, it's like, okay, when I meet with my team, I'm like, okay, is this marketing initiative going to be contributing some sort of education? Is that going to show our creative side? And is it going to help bring in more business to create that stability?
Good stuff. I often feel like the more we're reminded about it, the less decisions we have to make, right? Because it is either in alignment or not in alignment with the decision. And then you kind of discard things that are not in alignment when they kind of come up with something crazy. Let's just do this incredible event. Let's spend 50 grand and do it. It's like, well, it's like check, 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 check. No, we don't do those things. That's not who we are. So
well, that's a lot of my knowledge comes from trial and error, of course, but it was heavy on the error side. And so I went through several years and thousands of meetings, not going back to, hey, what's the objective? Because I could never get out what the vision truly was. And so towards the end, it was just mass chaos of let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, I can't do that anymore.
yeah.
So
question, Lauren, if I can, it may ask. So do you work with basically when you're hiring people for your team, like you work a personality, like what you're looking for to be part of your team, and also knowing how to mentor and motivate and, manage, each integrant of the team, because everybody's different, personality wise and all that. How do you handle that, and how, what's your experience with that?
That making sure that, number one, that their core values aren't on the total opposite end of the spectrum as yours. Anybody that works for me doesn't have to have the same exact core values. I'm a completely different person than all of you. So I would just say that as long as their core values, their personality are relatable to what yours are, and that you're drawn to them in a way of, okay, they are going to be good for our team. They are going to be, that fit within the culture. I think that that's how I would navigate it. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And just, because everybody's different. So you want to be able to motivate a different way, right? So do you do personality tests for each person that you hire to your team? And, so that you can, because as a team lead, then how you're going to be able to motivate them and to bring out the best in each one, because everyone is different. They act in a different form.
Okay, I think I understand a little bit more what you're asking. So it's more so like once they're already on your team, figuring out how to kind of push them along further, right?
Right, correct.
Okay.
I mean, you want the team to be successful, so it's going to take you as a team lead to be able to motivate, encourage them, inspire, or, but every personality is different. Everyone, reacts in a different form to be successful. So, as like it's your responsibility as a team lead to just capture, like help them, get that out of them, each one. So I'm just trying to figure formula, or how do you handle that, because you're dealing with different personalities, different people that react in different ways, how you communicate to them. And I'm wondering if there's any of that, part of hiring someone and being, that person for your team to be successful, and for them to be successful. Obviously you want everyone to win.
Yeah. Actually, you want everyone to win is what I was just about to say. I like to ask the question, how can I win with you? And that is very much just, hey, number one, how do you receive feedback? How can I communicate with you that you are going to understand it and take it and not think that I'm attacking you or anything like that? I love a disc test to kind of learn on people's personalities more as well. I am a high D. I worked on my previous team with 4 other high Ds. And so it was very, everybody was right all the time. And it was, kind of clashing personalities. It got difficult. But once I was able to kind of stop and be like, okay, no one is attacking anyone else. We all are just very passionate about what our idea is, or, whatever. It made it a little bit easier to see other people's perspectives. And so now my EA is a high I. Me being a high D, I'm very straight to the point, blunt. High I, she likes to get into the feelings stuff. So I know, okay, I have to stop. I have to ask her how her weekend was. I have to ask her, hey, I remember you said, something about your mom a couple weeks ago. How's she doing? Whatever. Just doing little check-ins like that to allow her to know that I care, versus the straight to business personality that I typically am, where I'm like, hi, can we get on a meeting really quick? One other thing that I like to do is know the person's love languages. And so if they are, receiving gifts or words of affirmations, I keep that in mind. And so if someone's love language was words of affirmations and I keep sending them an edible arrangement, for example, they're not going to think that I mean it, because I'm not just coming out and saying, you're doing such a great job. Thank you so much for being dedicated to our team.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other questions? We still have a few minutes from anyone that would like to chime in and ask any questions.
So I'd like to know, raise your hand if you are I'm going to say young team leader, meaning you've been either running a team for less than 5 years. If you would just raise your hand. If you have a team that you've been running for 5 years or less. So can we just zero in on Alejandro and then use him for like a little bit of a social experiment as for like all new agents that are under 5 years? Because I feel like in the first 5 years, there's still quite a few things you're just figuring out, right? And then working on, if you're thinking about it as a business, it's revenues, it's expenses, it's profitability. But we get lost in is like, we need leads, we need agents, and we're focused on those things, but we haven't figured out how to actually make those fit into those 3 important boxes: income, expenses, profitability, right? So what's the transition formula, if there is something, from that brand new agent? What do they have to figure out when they're first, just getting those people on a team, they're just trying to get the bus going and stuff like that, to where we start steering that bus into profitability? What's that thing that you say, well, if they don't have this one thing, they're never going to make it to a 7-figure producer? What's the missing key that they should be at least put it in your head? You got to focus on this. If you're ever going to turn from doing 50 to 100 closings to being a 2,000 or 3,000 person like yourself? Like, what's the missing key that they need?
Ooh, just one.
Oh, look, if you got more than one key, let's do it. You write these down.
I would say that, gosh, I would probably say that they will not go from, the 50 to 100 or whatever example we want to give unless they have, whether it's been done by themselves or someone else is doing it for them, the systems and processes in place, because you don't know if you're doing anything effectively. You could be doing it super fast. It could be efficient, but is it effective? Are you going through and you are, you have your clients' information in one area and you have no idea how much income or how many, how many leads came from one particular source, or how many, maybe you're pouring $2,000, for example, into Google ad spend. Are you going back and looking through and being like, okay, I actually got X amount of leads from there, and then I converted them into clients, versus maybe 75% of your lead sources came from past client referrals. Why are you putting money into Google instead of pouring into your past clients?
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, there's probably one key in like each department of the business that I would say you have to have. But if you don't have a good grasp on how to do, like, accountability, for example, if you have agents come onto your team and you don't have accountability for them, if you are pouring money into Google ad spend or Facebook or, whatever lead source it is, and you're not having them report how many conversations they're having a day or how many people are in their pipeline, you very well may be wasting your money, because you don't know if it's their conversations that aren't allowing them to convert and they need extra training. You don't know if it's I don't know, no leads are bad leads, of course, but you don't know if it's just, you don't know if you're getting an ROI from all of it.
Yeah, and mindset is huge, right?
Mhm.
Also, I believe agents must have the right mindset as well. That for me is so important.
Yeah. You nailed it. I actually have this guy who is actually the worst mentor in the planet. Like, he was terrible. Like, I hated this guy with such a passion. Like, I literally think of, like, here's the top person I would say the word hate, and this was the guy. But yet he actually had transformed my business. And along with Lauren said, is like, you got to inspect what you expect, right? That's what he used to say. You got to inspect what you expect, Gil. It's like, you got to inspect what you expect. You're spending all this money on leads. I was like, is it working? Is it working at the level you thought it should work? Could it be better? And it would just drive me nuts, because even when I thought I was doing good, he would challenge me more to inspect what you expect. It's that feeling of like pulling out all your bank statements and finding out if the dollars you're spending, are you wasting that money? Is it actually being used for the right stuff? Could you spend that money somewhere else? So, like, the one thing I would tell you is that if you are running a business like a Walmart or a real estate team, you've got to inspect what you expect from every dollar. Every dollar has to have a first name and last name when it leaves your bank account, and it's got to come back as 4 more. Your dollars should have babies. When you spend money, you're spending with the expectation I should make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times the money I'm sending out. And if not, then you have to ask yourself, why is Miss Patricia dollar bill leaving my bank account, right? Inspect what you expect, not only on your dollar bills, but also the agents that you're running, right? As you have agents in your business, if you're not quarterly sitting down with them and inspecting what you expect, you might find that you look around like, oh, we're not doing very well, right? Or maybe we could be doing so much better, right? Here's Lisa, and she's producing at this level. Let's find out why she's producing at that. What is she doing that the other people aren't doing? Inspect what you expect. When you run a business, it's never by accident. It's because you have systems in place where you're doing checks and balances and you're running at a high performance machine that is duplicatable, because someone can look at your spreadsheet or your P&L. And, honestly, I avoided having a P&L on a spreadsheet in my business for a very long time. It was because I had they have FOMO. I had FOFO. I had fear of finding out. I didn't want to know what I didn't know.
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So you do have to inspect what you expect. You can't be afraid to find out the truth. And I can't tell you for how important it is for those of you guys who are younger team leaders or even agents, right? It doesn't matter if if you're an agent, you have to do the same thing. You got to treat your business as a business, and you got to go in there and look at your bank account and do an audit like the IRS would. Like, just come in there savagely, look at your expenses and figure out, are you spending your money in the right places? Are you getting the results that you want? And when you inspect what you expect and you don't have the fear of finding out, you go in there and you get results.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it. I love it. And
Yes.
as a reminder, everyone, GAP is held every Monday for our Global Alliance community. Make sure you register for the Build Conference 2024. Make sure you go to buildc24.com. And I don't know, Lauren, if you would like to close with anything else that you would like to add. And we thank you so much. I learned so much.
No, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to talk with anybody, just to chat through your business, whatever it may be. But thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here today. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you learned something.
Yeah,
For
thank you so much
Good
for being
Good
here.
stuff. Hey guys, I will be on that cruise, build24.com, with my family. I hope that you're going to be there too. It's on the biggest boat yet to be built. That boat hasn't even been built yet, and we've got hundreds of rooms set up for you. And all you got to do is take your little fingers and go build@24.com. Press it on your keyboard right now on a separate screen and start filling out your information so you too can be on a boat with 7- and 8-figure producers who are guaranteed to help you grow your business or have a great time. One of those two. One of those two are guaranteed to happen. You're either going to grow your business or you're going to have a great time, or you might do both. Take a risk in yourself, build your business, and invest in yourself. It's a write-off. Let's go have some fun. I'll see you guys soon.
See you guys.